everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. In our last episode, we discussed the close relationship between the main author of the New York Times' recent series of articles attacking Shen Yun and Falun Gong and the CCP, as well as various means the CCP uses to try to achieve the unattained goal of eliminating Falun Gong within 3 months. In this episode, we will analyze from the articles themselves why I say the New York Times articles are part of the CCP's global deployment. Much of the content in this episode consists of my exclusive findings. In terms of the New York Times articles themselves, the author Nicole Hong said that it took them almost a year to start this series of reports because someone contacted them and wanted to share information about Shen Yun with them. Who is this so-called whistleblower? I don't want to mention his name here as I don't want to promote him. But what I can disclose is that he has repeatedly declared on social media that he wants to completely eradicate Falun Gong and sink the Falun Gong boat and watch Falun Gong practitioners run around like rats on the sinking boat. Putting aside the hatred contained in such expressions, his goal is consistent with that of the CCP. In addition, I have unintentionally discovered that there is at least one high-ranking CCP secret agent beside or behind this so-called whistleblower. This is a photo and a name of the person whom I consider to be a senior agent of the CCP. So how did I find out about her identity as an agent? In 2021, I participated in a discussion about Falun Gong issues on Facebook, and she was one of the active participants. She claimed to be an Australian Falun Gong practitioner, so I knew about her at that time. Shortly afterwards, an American Falun Gong practitioner reminded me that this person might be a secret agent and asked me to be careful. So I tried to recall my online interactions with her. Then I did realize that there was something wrong with her. That is, no matter what time of the day or night it was, as soon as I posted, she didn't even wait for a minute and immediately came to like, comment, or share my post. I thought to myself, didn't she even sleep? You know, I'm in the US and she is in Australia, and our days and nights are reversed. So I went to her Facebook page to have a look. On the surface, she is a very dedicated Falun Gong practitioner, but when I read some of her posts carefully, I found that she has absolutely no respect for Mr. Li Hongzhi, the founder of Falun Gong. True Falun Gong practitioners do not write the way she does about Mr. Li Hongzhi. So I basically decided that something was really wrong with her and blocked her on Facebook. 2 years later, in September 2023, the above-mentioned whistleblower to the New York Times started attacking Falun Gong, attacking Shen Yun online, and this person, probably because she couldn't leave me a message on Facebook, came to Twitter or X to leave me a comment, trying to draw my attention to the whistleblower's latest attacks on Shen Yun. I didn't know that she had an X account, so I clicked over to check her profile. I was shocked. to see that her Twitter or X account was full of posts about Christianity, not a single one related to Falun Gong. And anyone who looked at this kind of account would think that she is a Christian. However, her identity on Facebook was a Falun Gong practitioner. I felt something was very off, so I took these 2 screenshots of her post, praising Jesus. Early the next morning, that is 10 hours later, I went to check her X account again and to confirm what I have found. This time I was even more shocked. Her X account changed completely overnight after only 10 hours. All the Christianity-related posts were gone. She had a total of over 15,600 posts at that time, while many new posts about Falun Gong had been added. At that point, I thought I could confirm that the previous claim that she is a secret agent is true. Otherwise, why would she have a completely different identity on Facebook and X? Obviously, because I had blocked her on Facebook, she was in a hurry to leave me a message, and in the heat of the moment, she ran to X, forgetting the different functions of her Facebook account and her X account. But then she realized this fatal mistake and immediately did something about it. The reason why she was able to make more than 15,000 posts disappear overnight is the same reason why she could post on Facebook 24/7. She has the support of a team, even a highly skilled team, behind her. She is not fighting alone. The CCP, in order to bring down Falun Gong, sent many spies trying to infiltrate Falun Gong. I had seen one in Sydney, Australia before. He told everyone that he came from Macheng City in Hubei province. However, when he met a Falun Gong practitioner who really came from Macheng City, he told her that he came from Chongqing City. If you don't know why this is so wrong, let me tell you. Of course, lying about where he came from is one issue, but this issue is just a small one. The bigger issue is, why did he choose to lie in front of someone who really came from Macheng City? The reason is, he didn't practice Falun Gong back in Macheng, and he was afraid that the practitioner from Macheng would find this out, so he lied to her. But there were so many Falun Gong practitioners in Australia. How could he even know where each of them was born? The real Falun Gong practitioner from Macheng lived in Melbourne then and was only in Sydney on a temporary business trip. Moreover, she was a very low-profile Falun Gong practitioner, so other Falun Gong practitioners generally did not know her place of birth. But how come this person who just came from China knew her place of birth? Therefore, at that time, I was truly horrified. This CCP agent who had just arrived from China to Australia knew not only the names and appearances of all Falun Gong practitioners, but also the birthplace of each one of them. That's why he told everyone else that he came from Macheng. But as soon as he saw a practitioner who really came from Macheng, he immediately claimed that he was from Chongqing. Why was he able to master so comprehensive information? He must have also been backed by intelligence support. Let me now show you another post by Susan Chen on an X community she set up on August 4th of this year, about 10 days before the first New York Times article attacking Shen Yun at Falun Gong was published. Quote, I think it would be more accurate and successful to aim to end Shen Yun rather than eradicate Falun Gong globally. This is because Falun Gong is an intangible concept, whereas Shen Yun is a tangible asset, including business reputation. So anything that damages the reputation of Shen Yun, anything that cuts off the inflow of funds of Shen Yun is worth doing. Of course, it is even more worthwhile to bring a criminal case against Shen Yun. I heard from Jiang that she had been approached by Shen Yun to make a donation, which she was going to do, but then gave the money to. She mentioned the above-mentioned whistleblower's name here, but I have blocked it out as I don't want to promote that person here. So Susan Chen wanted Jiang to donate the money to this person. She continues to say, I've also heard that some people in Shen Yun want their parents to donate to Shen Yun. So these parents, please stop agreeing to donate to Shen Yun. So you see, this CCP spy is openly calling for donations to that whistleblower. Also, since I have been following her online account since 2021, I know that she has been very purposefully pushing that whistleblower to do what she wants him to do. When someone left a comment under this CCP agent's post asking what could be done to have a real effect on terminating Shen Yun, Susan, besides agreeing that Shen Yun should be made to make no or little money, replied with Jiang Zeming's most famous tactics for dealing with Falun Gong: defame their reputation, bankrupt them financially, destroy them physically. She also said that we should break down the goals and work on them one by one and accomplish as much as we can. What do you think? Isn't that evidence enough? The purpose of presenting this evidence to everyone is to illustrate that behind the whistleblower to the New York Times, there are CCP spies supporting him, and their common goal is to bring down Shen Yun and Falun Gong. The CCP spy even corrected that whistleblower, saying that the goal should be set on ending Shen Yun rather than eradicating Falun Gong worldwide because it is more achievable. So the New York Times articles were created under the guidance of people with such goals, and even all those interviewed by the New York Times who had left Shen Yun were found with the help of this whistleblower, some of whom had already been interviewed on this whistleblower's own YouTube channel. Otherwise, how come these dozens of interviewees who left Shen Yun at different times never said anything before, yet suddenly all came out claiming that they were abused? Not only that, even the arguments or talking points of the New York Times were prepared by the CCP Secret Service-backed whistleblower, such as calling parents sending their children to boarding school, human trafficking, describing the normal management of cell phones and internet access of students as mind control and information control, and describing the weight requirement for dancers as mental abuse, etc. All of which are completely in line with the so-called whistleblower's previous arguments. The New York Times did a lot of interviews, but when quoting these people, it used the tactic of quoting out of context, intercepting only the parts that could achieve their objectives, especially because it is only a textual presentation. These texts can be easily cut according to their needs. For example, I have watched an interview conducted by the so-called whistleblower on a person interviewed by the New York Times. It was a relatively continuous interview lasting more than 40 minutes. During that interview, the interviewee expressed two of her greatest dissatisfactions. One was that Shen Yun did not want her, and the other was that her teacher, Professor Zhang Tianliang of Feitian Academy of Arts, which trained actors for Shen Yun, did not go to see her when he was on a business trip to Taiwan. In addition to this, she also mentioned that the artistic director of Shen Yun was very nice to her, and because she was from a single-parent family, she was given $20 or $50 a month as pocket money, etc. Because she said that the artistic director of Shen Yun was very nice to her, the interviewer, also the whistleblower to the New York Times, had to explain to the audience that this was because she had been brainwashed by Shen Yun for a long time that she said that. Don't you think it is ridiculous? If she said something that he wanted, she was brave. If she said something that she didn't want, she was brainwashed. In fact, according to Professor Zhang Tianliang, who told her before, she wanted to work at Shen Yun after graduation, but she was not accepted because she was not qualified. However, she insisted on flying back to the U.S. from Taiwan without being accepted. Because the U.S. Customs would not allow her to enter the country due to the pandemic control at that time, she contacted Professor Zhang, who advised her to try to find a job. She later returned to Taiwan and opened her own dance school. Sometimes, when she had good students, she would recommend them to Shen Yun. When she got married, she even invited Professor Zhang to Taiwan to attend her wedding. She also posted a photo of herself and Professor Zhang on her social media, saying that she had a very happy time at the Feitian Academy of Arts and that she was a most funny person there. She was very happy to attend Professor Zhang's classes, and she was very thankful to the Feitian Academy of Arts. She had a lot of firsts there she would never forget, and she had no regrets in her life, and all of these were given to her by the school. She had many unforgettable firsts, etc. All these facts show that up to half a year before she was interviewed by the whistleblower at the New York Times, she was still thanking the Feitian Academy of Arts for nurturing her. And even when Professor Zhang Tianliang went to give a lecture in Taiwan in June 2023, she was still looking forward to Professor Zhang's visit to her. In other words, she was still very grateful to Shen Yun and the Feitian Academy of Arts. So, what went wrong? The husband of this young lady said on social media that he took his wife to China for a period of time. He also admitted that he cut off his wife's contact with other people and even closed her Facebook account so that he would not be approached by any Falun Gong practitioners she used to know. According to Professor Zhang Tianliang's analysis, she might have been brainwashed by the CCP's State Security Ministry while she was in China together with her husband. I think this might be true because clearly Shen Yun's performances have included many segments reflecting the CCP's persecution of Falun Gong and the forced organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners. Since she participated in Shen Yun's performances, she must have been aware of these facts at some point. However, in the interview with the whistleblower, she actually asked, "Is it true that the CCP has been harvesting the organs of Falun Gong practitioners alive?" In other words, she has been brainwashed to the extent that she does not believe these facts anymore. Therefore, on the one hand, the New York Times was very deliberate in its selections of interviewees. Among thousands of current and former Shen Yun performers, they specifically choose a minority, fundamentally unrepresentative group of people who lived for various reasons and harbored dissatisfaction. On the other hand, even the statements made by those they interviewed were not fully and truthfully represented. Just like this young lady I mentioned here, after listening to her 40-minute interview, you would find that her greatest dissatisfaction is that Shen Yun did not want her, that Professor Zhang did not visit her in Taiwan. Yet, she still said that the artistic director of Shen Yun was very nice to her. Therefore, as former Chinese journalist Zhao Lanjian said, the meaning of news is to disseminate the truth in a timely manner, not to fiddle with words to create or even distort the truth to mislead. The purpose of lengthy articles is for ideological guidance. If it is truth, it can be explained in a few sentences or with a piece of direct evidence. In other words, the New York Times articles first established the goal of attacking Shen Yun and Falun Gong, then found interviewees based on this goal and distorted and edited the interview content to achieve their predetermined objective. It's like shooting an arrow first, then drawing the target around where it lands. Do you agree? Also, the so-called expert interviewed by the New York Times, Nicholas Bequelin, came from Yale Law School's Paul Tsai China Center, which was once investigated by the U.S. Department of Education for receiving funds from the CCP. And it is even more ridiculous for this expert to adopt the CCP's claim in its entirety and deny the existence of systematic forced organ harvesting of Falun Gong practitioners. In view of the fact that the father of the reporter of the New York Times articles is an honorary overseas director of the Western Returned Scholars Association, some critics even said that the New York Times article was arranged and paid for by the United Front Work Department of the CCP, just like what the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security said. The CCP's activities in the U.S. are now the most rampant since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the U.S. and China. Therefore, The conclusion is that the CCP's infiltration of the US and the world has become so rampant that we must take it very seriously. For the targets it wishes to suppress, it can mobilize its global united front system, spy system, and propaganda system to operate worldwide. In a way, this has become a war and invasion without gunpowder against other countries. Today, it targets Falun Gong and Shen Yun. Tomorrow, it could strike any other target it wishes. Thus, we must stop it. Well, that's all for today. Please like this video and subscribe for more. Please also visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com to sign up for a membership or make a donation. Your support helps me continue sharing the inconvenient truths. Thank you. See you next time.